It is a mistake for any elected official, in my opinion. I don't think this is a very out there opinion, to attack media and journalists.
He called euphemistically the president's strategic uncertainty in his negotiating position over time here. On Amazon, in this report that Amazon might start listing the additional cost on specific items put in place by the tariffs, the president is clearly angry. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said she had spoken to him about...
I imagine you do when it comes to tariffs.
We look at all the things that could impact consumers and customers.
No warning, no negotiations, just a quiet shift. A pivot so massive that it now echoes across global ports, factory floors, and the battered remains of the U.S. economy. Amazon, the empire of endless aisles and overnight delivery, has begun to pull away from the country it helped dominate. And the reason is not competition, not regulation, it is Donald Trump. As of this week, Amazon has begun dismantling its old supply routes, not because demand is down, not because its model is broken, but because Trump's tariffs have made it impossible to do business the way it used to. Importing goods from China, a lifeline for millions of Amazon listings, has become too expensive, too risky, and too politically dangerous to sustain. So Amazon is retreating, not from the market, but from the system, and the ripple effect is about to crush what is left of U.S. supply chains. Before we continue, hit that like button to help us beat the YouTube algorithm and to show your support. This all started when Trump's tariff hammer came crashing down again in April. He slapped a sweeping 10% tax on all imports, not just from China, but from everywhere. For goods coming from China, some categories now face duties as high as 145%. That is not just protectionism, that is economic warfare. Amazon's reaction was swift. The company began tearing apart its logistics routes, shredding contracts, and rerouting shipments to avoid U.S. ports entirely. Items that once traveled from Shenzhen to Los Angeles are now coming through Vietnam, rerouted to Mexico, then entering back into the U.S. under new customs categories. Some are being sold in Europe instead, bypassing American consumers altogether. And if Trump thought this would bring jobs back, he was wrong. Amazon is not onshoring, it is offshoring smarter. Factories are being set up in Vietnam and India, assembly is shifting to Malaysia and Indonesia, and Mexican border warehouses are booming. What is not happening? New U.S. factories. The jobs Trump promised are not materializing. They are just going elsewhere. The fallout is brutal. The haul section of Amazon, a low-cost product category launched to compete with Tu and Shein, is collapsing. It allowed Americans to buy ultra-cheap products shipped directly from Chinese sellers, like a phone case for $2. Or a kitchen tool for $3. But that entire model depended on a loophole, the de minimis exemption, that allowed items under $800 to enter the U.S. tariff-free. That loophole is now gone, and the consequences are catastrophic. Chinese sellers who once shipped 10,000 packages per day to U.S. customers are now reporting cancellations of over 85%. Their products are too cheap to survive triple-digit import taxes, and Amazon is cutting them loose. In Shenzhen, panic has already set in. Wang Xin, director of the Shenzhen Cross-Border E-Commerce Association, said this week that the industry is facing collapse. This is not just about tax, he said. The entire cost structure has collapsed. No one can survive. Thousands of sellers are now abandoning the U.S. marketplace. Some are pivoting to Europe, others to Brazil, but many are simply giving up. Amazon is not waiting to pick up the pieces. It is already rebuilding elsewhere. Amazon has begun opening fulfillment centers along Mexico's northern corridor, and in the U.S., Amazon is scaling down its direct import operations, preferring to bring in goods through offshore nodes where tariffs are lower or easier to manipulate. This is not a hypothetical scenario. It is happening now, and the numbers are staggering. Analysts estimate that Amazon has restructured over $13 billion in import contracts in the past 2 months. Products that used to enter through California are now flowing through Latin America. Contracts with Chinese manufacturers have been canceled or frozen. The company has shifted more than half of its new vendor sourcing to Vietnam, India, and Mexico since Trump's tariff hike. And while Amazon remains quiet publicly, its chief executive officer, Andy Jassy, made it clear on a recent investor call, the company is managing costs. Consumer demand is steady and prices have held for now, but even Jassy knows the ceiling is dropping. Amazon is holding prices steady by absorbing losses, but that strategy cannot last forever. Eventually, the tariffs will hit the one thing every consumer understands, the price tag. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button to show your support to the channel. And Trump, he is trying to pretend it is not happening. Last month, Amazon was reportedly planning to show tariff costs directly on product pages, a small label next to the price explaining how much more the shopper was paying because of import duties. Trump went ballistic. His press team called it sabotage, a smear campaign, a political ambush. Amazon denied the plan. The company said it had considered the idea for Hall but decided against it. Still, the message was clear. The tariff burden is real and the president does not want voters to see it. What is unfolding now is not just an economic shift. It is a political reckoning. Trump's entire trade philosophy is collapsing under its own weight. He told Americans that tariffs would bring back jobs, hurt China, and restore national pride. But what they are bringing instead is price hikes, global rerouting, and a growing list of angry businesses. Walmart has already said it cannot hold prices down much longer. Target has downgraded its financial forecast. Home Depot says entire product lines may disappear. Mattel has warned that Barbie dolls will get more expensive. And now, Amazon, the largest marketplace on Earth, is rebuilding itself to survive Trump's policy. And this is just the first wave. The real storm is coming for shoppers. Baby car seats are projected to increase by $100. Basic electronics could climb 15%. Shoes and apparel sourced from Asia are already rising, and the ripple effect will not stop at big box retailers. Small businesses that depend on Amazon's infrastructure, sellers, vendors, fulfillment partners, are now facing cost structures they cannot manage. Many will be forced to shut down or raise prices beyond what their customers can pay. Meanwhile, the Trump administration continues to spin. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told reporters this week that tariffs are a tool for leverage. He admitted some costs will hit consumers, but he said the pain would be temporary. That inflation is cooling, that tax relief is coming, but economists are not buying it. Yale's Budget Lab released a new projection. Average American households will lose over $2,800 in purchasing power this year, not because of inflation, but because of tariffs. And while Trump insists China is paying the cost, the facts say otherwise. Tariffs are paid by importers. Those importers pass the cost to retailers. Retailers pass it to consumers. And right now, those consumers are already paying more. The irony is sickening. Trump claims victory. He points to headlines. He says China is struggling. But the reality is this: China is not breaking. They are rooting. They are cutting deals with Europe, Africa, and South America. Chinese exporters are moving through Vietnam and Malaysia. They are finding ways to circumvent Trump's wall of tariffs. And the U.S. is watching its biggest companies turn away. This week, Amazon canceled over $400 million in direct China-based shipments. Next week, it will be more, and this is only the beginning. In Mexico, Amazon's new regional fulfillment centers are expanding faster than forecast. Shipping corridors once reserved for the California coastline are being moved to the south. Rail lines are being rerouted through Texas. Customs brokers in Laredo say they are now handling double the load they saw last year. And in the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, containers are sitting idle. Shipments are delayed, jobs are disappearing, longshoremen are reporting cuts, truckers are hauling less, warehouses are half full. The arteries of America's import economy are slowing, and yet the administration continues to call this a reset. It is not a reset, it is a retreat, and Amazon's exodus proves it. Amazon is not relocating its headquarters, it is not closing its U.S. stores, but it is shifting its economic core. The invisible machinery that powers its engine away from the United States because Trump's tariffs made staying too expensive. And when Amazon flees, it is not just one company, it is the supply chain. It is the future.